we have talked about some players that have made official moves to different clubs in our player pool. John Brooks, Ricardo Pepi, Serginho Dest. I'm hearing that Timo Weah might be on the move from Lille to Sevilla. That hasn't been confirmed yet. A couple more hours left to go in this window. We'll see if that ends up happening. He'll join Yunus Musa with the La Liga club. Edinson Cavani just signed with them. So that would be an interesting move for Timo Weah. But let's talk about some of the other players. And one that makes me, I just put my head down once again, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, leaving Barcelona to join Chelsea, which just means less and less minutes for Christian Pulisic, Heath, Pierce. Yeah. And then they just signed Dennis Zakaria as well from Juventus. Not the same type of player, but it's just another guy on Chelsea that could take minutes indirectly away from Christian Pulisic. It's just not a good look. He's not alone, though. Hakim Ziyech is kind of in the same boat. He just doesn't play for our national team, so we don't talk about him. But Heath, how are you feeling about this Aubameyang move to Chelsea?
Yeah, before we jump onto that, I was one of the things that just came to mind right now when we're talking about Timo Weah going to Sevilla is Timo Weah is failing upwards, and I say that with respect. And my question to you guys is it? Do you think it's a bit of an issue that our players are all so young that the movement, Serginho Dest, goes from Barcelona to AC Milan, could face the same issues, right? Pulisic stuck in his situation because where else could he possibly go that could afford his wages or his transfer fee? Do you think that's starting to become a little bit of a problem that our players aren't failing down to, like, say, Ricardo Pepi is now, Augsburg, Bundesliga, to Groningen, okay, makes sense, right? Place is going to get more minutes. Place that's good for him personally, whereas Serginho Dest to AC Milan, do I think he could play there? Sure. Do I think it's Do I think that it's going to be a similar challenge? Should things go his way or not go his way? We'll find out. Maybe that's going to make him a better player. But that sort of lateral or upward trajectory for like a Timo Weah who isn't always a starter at Lille, I just worry how long can these guys do this before we lose them for a couple of seasons or lose some of the really crucial developmental moments?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one, and that's probably part of the evolution of an American player now in the top 5 leagues in Europe. That's been normalized, I'd say, over the last couple of years to this new set of problems that we've never had to really address before. So it'll be interesting to see how some of these guys navigate the high seas of that, and of course, how the next generation of players learns from that. I don't know, Charlie, what you think about Heath's question or just Christian Pulisic's situation in particular. Apparently, Free Pulisic is trending on Twitter, as it should be, because the guy's getting absolutely handcuffed, and it's almost like Thomas Tuchel is trying to ruin his life.
I would say, look at Timo Werner. Perfect example of a winger brought in, just left to the bench, did play, just the rhythm not there. Goes back to RB Leipzig. That's a massive step back and is thriving, is playing. That's what Christian Pulisic
you know what?
needs.
He looks like he's enjoying himself too.
Yes.
Timo Werner.
You enjoy. We all know, we've been there. When you go from not playing and you feel like you deserve to play, which is a whole nother thing, not playing and there's clearly players above you and you're not performing and you're just happy to be there in a way. You're like, okay, versus I'm here. The guys in front of me, whether it's Kai Havertz, whether it's Mason Mount, whether it's Timo Werner, all the above are not performing. I'm ready. I feel like I should play and I'm not playing. And when I do play, I'm the first sub. Or if I do play and I do well, I'm still changed. I'm only given 45 minutes the next game. You just feel like this is not the place for you. You are not respected. You feel like you've earned everything that you've had to work for, yet it's not reciprocal. And so I think for Christian, that's what he's in a. It's almost like a depression. You're saying, hey, I'm doing everything I can. I'm working my butt off. I've showed you I don't quit. He's not going to quit now because your back's up against the wall. It's so easy to say, I'm out. You got a World Cup in front of you. You got your future ahead of you. So you can't quit. It's not in you to quit, but it sucks. I've been there a million times. It sucks. You do everything you can, but you're never given the proper chance like other players are because the coach doesn't see you in that way. And there's nothing you can do to change it.
Not anymore.
That's where Christian is right now.
He is. He can't change Tuchel's mind. Tuchel clearly has made up his mind on what Christian Pulisic can provide to his team. And it's unfortunate because it seemed like, based on their history together at Borussia Dortmund, that wouldn't end as acrimoniously as it is at this current moment.
Do we all not think that an American owner, Todd Boehly, coming in would change things? Because it hasn't at all. It's almost saying Todd Boehly had to come in and say, you know what? I have to back Thomas Tuchel and whatever he says. This is the top guy, not me. I might be an American, and I love that Christian Pulisic is on our club, but this is a Champions League winner. Whatever he wants to do, I'm going to go with, and I'm going to back him. And I think that's where we're at.
So what's interesting is that there are so many machinations in place and different types of rules that if a team can't afford his wages, Heath, or his transfer fee, he could still go on loan, right? And Chelsea could eat some of it and try to find that happy ground. It just doesn't feel like, to what Charlie's saying in some ways, that the club is working in the best interest of Christian Pulisic. And they don't have to, of course, but there is an element of you want to make sure you're getting the most out of your players. And right now, I don't think they're going to get the most out of a Christian Pulisic for the rest of the season because he's going to be so checked out on the fact that they don't have his back anymore. And that's very clear. So now there's only, a couple hours left in the window, and it's looking like the door is going to be shut. I feel for this guy because he needs to be playing, because we know he's a confidence guy. When he's playing, and talk about a guy that looks like he's a world beater when he's having fun. Christian Pulisic is close to the top of the list for me in our player pool, that when that guy's feeling it and having a big smile on his face, he's unplayable.
Yeah.
He's unplayable when he looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much of it has anything to do with bully or that. I mean, this is a multi-billionaire, right? He's not looking into the locker room going like, hey, what are we doing with that guy? You know, like,
it seems like that, though. They've made like 18,000 signings.
How do we make that guy's life better? You know, he's American, just like me.
But doesn't Todd Bowley know that we have a World Cup in a couple months? Like, come on, man, you're working against us. You're a goddamn American. Act like it.
Yeah, I think it's probably less that. They probably looked at solutions. I think they know that they've invested heavily in him, and they're like, well, we're going to continue to, squeeze this lemon because we've produced it and we've built it and we've paid for it, and we are not going to just let you out because it doesn't suit you, because I know that you motivated are going to get me enough results. I mean, if you look at the depth of the roster, I mean, what a dream situation for Tuchel to be in, even though the team's not getting results, a dream situation to be in with that kind of depth, right? He did that, constantly rotating his squad to go and win the Champions League. And so I look at this situation, and I think that we look at it through a very Americanized lens. Todd Bowley's looking at it through a much more business type lens and a more macro lens of saying, like, how do I drive value into this club that I just spent a fortune on? And then Christian Pulisic is the one that loses in this scenario. But window closes, he's got two choices, right? He can continue to be upset, which he's going to be, or he can harness that and make the most out of it, which, we've all been in those crappy situations. No one wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that when I'm in that situation, but he's going to have no other choice. Yeah,
no, he's got no other choice. I'm still hoping his dad continues to like social media posts that hate Thomas Tuchel. I don't want that to ever end.